viewers, how are you? I hope you are doing well. Today we are going to talk about information handling, what it is and how it is formed. So let's start our topic. I would like to start my topic with a motivational quote, and somehow it is applied to mathematics because we say that it is difficult. It's a difficult and rough subject, hard subject. We cannot do anything. We can't solve the questions. We can't understand the terms, etc. But if there is a will, there is a way. So this is never say I can't, always say I will try. Viewers, basically information handling is related to statistics. And what is statistics? Statistics is a branch of mathematics. Now, statistics are a branch of mathematics that involves drawing conclusions from collected numerical data. It means statistics is based upon two things: drawing conclusions and numerical data. Now, drawing conclusions mean like in we are concluding different things, we are summarizing different things on the basis of numbers. Statistics includes collection, systematic presentation, and interpretation of data, and it can be used in social sciences, different businesses, in the field of education, in the field of science, engineering, economics, and so on. It has many useful benefits. As I told you that numbers are involved in statistics. So there are some specific terms that are used in the subject statistics. The first term is population, the other one is sample, the third one is object or person. Now how to define population? Population means all the objects or person under consideration, under study, under observation, and a sample is just a part of the population. On the other hand, object or person under study is called an individual. These terms are used specifically for statistics or data collection. For study population, sample, and individual, we need some characteristics. Just like the characteristics as we learned in journal science, the characteristics of living and non-living things. Similarly, here in statistics, there are characteristics, and we define it as the property to be studied, such as the height of students, the weight of a group of people, and marks obtained in a subject is known as characteristic. So we can say that characteristics can be divided into two parts. One is qualitative and the other one is quantitative. The characteristics or the properties based on smell, texture, and the abstract nouns is related to qualitative, and those properties that are physically related, like for example height, weight, marks, numbers, based on the numbers and the quantities is called quantitative. Whereas qualitative we cannot count, and quantitative characteristics we can count. Quantity, the most important thing related to quantitative data, that it is increased, it can be decreased. Just like the marks of a student can be increased, the marks of the student can be decreased. The height of the student is increased and height of the student can decrease. Similarly, the percentage can increase and percentage can be decreased. So on the basis of these increment and decrease or decline, we say quantitative data is a variable. or variates. My viewers and students, these are the mind maps, and these mind maps are very helpful when we understand some concept, and I'm using these mind maps because they can stay in our mind for a long time. Now the frequency distribution is based upon three things. Number one is collection of data. Number two is classification and tabulation of data. Number three is graphical representation of data. Now, if we talk about collection of data, the data has two parts. Number one is primary data and the secondary data. You can see here that primary data can be gathered by using direct personal investigation, indirect oral investigation, schedules and questionnaires. And secondary data, it is in the form of published and unpublished journals or publications. It is based on official publications and the journals from the side of government and NGOs. Now come to the classification and tabulation of data. As from the word, classification means making classes or formation of classes with class interval, class limits, class size or magnitude. And tabulation means to make the tables or formation of tables in the form of class frequency and class marks. The third thing is graphical representation of data. So there are many graphs. We can use bar graph, we can use histogram, line graphs, pie charts, pictographs. These are the some examples of the graphs. There are many graphs, other graphs. Briefly, we can say a table that presents the class intervals and the corresponding frequencies is known as frequency distribution table. And a frequency distribution table relates with the collection of data, then classification and tabulation of data, and the third thing is graphical representation of data. Now here you can see what is collection of data. Collection of data is a statistical analysis that is not possible without quantitative data. The first step is statistical work is the collection of facts and figures. Statistical data may be either primary or secondary. Now viewers, you can see that the collection of data that is bifurcated into two parts, primary and secondary. Now this is the detail of the primary data or raw data is collected from the first time and is therefore original in character. Primary data is collected through methods such as surveys or personal interviews, and personal interviews can be direct or indirect in the form of questions or schedules. And the secondary data on the other side is the data that is already being collected by someone and has been analyzed by statistical procedures at least once. A book or a report published on the internet is an example of secondary data. So I hope you can understand by using this, this is the bifurcation of these two, and it will be helpful. More details are there. The various methods of the collection of primary data are the direct personal investigation, indirect oral investigation, schedules and questionnaires. So how do we get the primary data? We can get the primary data by using these methods. The direct personal investigation, the second is indirect oral investigation, and the schedules and questionnaires. In the direct personal investigation, the investigation collects data personally from available sources. This process requires a lot of time and generally involves large expenses. It can often lead to erroneous analysis due to personal bias. Means biasness is there, unbiasedness is not involved in it. Indirect oral investigation, it is In indirect oral investigation, the researcher interviews experts on the topic. Desired information is collected from the experts' responses. The accuracy of the data collected largely depends on the people whose responses are recorded. And the last one is schedules and questionnaires. Individual government organizations and research institutes usually follow this method. A list of questions related to the problem is prepared, printed, and sent to the concerned people. It is the least expensive method, and the question must be clear, short, and easy for the person that is to be answered. Now, students and viewers, classification and tabulation of data is the second thing that is required in frequency distribution. Now, classification, once a raw data has been collected, it needs to be compiled before analysis. Classification is the first step in tabulation, and it implies bringing together the items which are similar in some respect. After classification, tabulation is done to condense the data to make it short in a compact form which can be easily comprehended. The process of arranging data in classes or groups is called classification. So I hope you will understand. These slides will help you to understand the concept that is related to classification and tabulation of data. Previously, we have done the classification and tabulation of data. For the classification, we need class interval, and data is divided into few classes, each of which is called class interval. Classification according to the method involves determining the following things, the things that can be studied and that can be considered: specifically number of classes and their sizes, class limits, counting the numbers of data values in each class. So these are the important things that these must be understand, and these are involved in making the classification. The limits are the maximum and the minimum values within which a class interval lies are known as the class limits. There is an upper class limit and a lower class limit. So these are the some specific terms that are used in statistics. The difference between the two class limits is known as the class magnitude or class size. Of times each item appears in a class interval is called frequency. How many times this number is going to be appeared, and after that frequency we need to find out the midpoints of a class interval, and these are called class marks. The midpoints of the class interval is known as class mark. For example, the class mark or midpoint of a class interval is 5 and 10. Then we will add these two and divide by 2. Like 5 plus 2, 10 divided by 2 gives you 7.5. So these are some things that some important uh, what are these terms and terminologies that are required in statistics, and you need to follow these rules for the classification and tabulation of data. Dear students and viewers, I hope you would like this topic and it will be helpful for you in understanding different concepts. For the graphical representation, that is the third part of frequency distribution, I will explain in another lecture. Till then, I am saying goodbye. Thank you so much.